So there are people that stay on the I don't think people play like all of it. It's just as there, so they have really basketball. So there's like subdivision levels. And so it's very big because it's Oh yeah. More spread out this Where's the might be good? Is it might be?
Out of a cloud by night, chilling my Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And the stars never rise, but I see the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in the sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the side of the sea.
Childhood's hour I have not seen as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From the same source I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. All I loved alone. Then, my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn from every depth of
once upon a midnight Dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door.
"'Tis some visitor,"
I muttered,
tapping at my chamber door. "Only this and nothing more."
and the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain troubled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating,
"Some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door.
this is it.
And nothing more." Nurse! Nurse!
Yes?
Get Doctor, quickly!
Who is he?
We don't know!
The phone is driving in the gutter.
Fetch Dr. Moore and tell him it's an emergency.
This is his faithful account, which I am able to furnish, to the record of his death, My name is John T. Morin, Washington College Hospital, Baltimore, Wednesday, October 3rd, 1849. Brought here unconscious but delirious and violent. He remained in this condition for 10 hours. To this state succeeded a tremor of the limbs and at first a very busy but not violent or active delirium. Constant talking. And a vacant converse with spectral and imaginary objects on the wall.
There's nothing there.
Gaily bedlight, the gallant night, in sunshine and shadow, and journey long, singing a song in search of El Dorado. But he grew old, the nights were full, and o'er his heart a shadow fell as he found no spot of ground. Search of El Dorado. And as his strength failed him at length, he met a pilgrim shadow. Shadow, said he, where can it be, this land of El Dorado?
Over the mountains of the moon, down the valley of the shadow. Ride, boldly ride.
The shade replied,
If you seek for El Dorado.
I am in the dreamland, where dwell the goals, by each spot most unholy.
Eddie!
Virginia! Virginia, come with me! I've been looking for you!
What's one to the breach, Stiffer? And once more. You know the war with our English and Scottish dead.
Yes!
And in case there's nothing so becomes a man, is modest, stillness, and humility.
Well, there he is!
But when the bloody blast of war blows in our ears, then it takes the action of the tiger. Go!
Papa, that was thrilling!
Away, boy, later.
But Papa, you promised to.
I said not now, boy.
But Papa, you said that you
I'm
would.
not your father. Can't you get that through your thick skull? You're not my son. Get out of here now. I have guests to attend.
John Allen, March 19, 1837.
I've been guarding this wretched creature for 20 years now.
After my treatment yesterday, and what passed between us this morning, I can probably think you'll be surprised at the contents of this letter. My determination is at length taken to leave your house and endeavor to find some place in this wide world where I will be treated not as you have treated me.
Go on, Eddie. Get out. Find a place for yourself in this wide world.
My resolution is unalterable.
What are you gonna do? Live off your poems?
I beseech you. Send me my trunk containing my clothes and books,
What?
and as much money as will defray the expenses of my passage to some of the northern cities and then support me for 1 month,
Never.
by which time I shall be able to place myself in some situation.
Situation? Never. Nevermore.
It is impossible.
To say how first the idea entered my brain.
Very true. Very, very true. dreadfully nervous I have been, and well, am. But why would you say that I'm mad? The disease, it had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Oh, but above all was my sense of hearing acute. Observe how calmly, how healthfully I can tell the story. It is impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain, but once conceived, haunted me day and night. He had never wronged me.
Good evening, Bertram.
Sir, you're looking well this evening.
Why, thank you, Bertram.
He'd never given me insult. For his gold I had no desire. It was his eye. Yes, it was this. He had a pale blue eye with film over it that resembled that of a vulture. And whenever it fell upon me,
Bertram!
my blood ran cold. Yes, sir.
Could you take this for me?
Right away, sir. And so, by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man and thus rid myself of the eye forever. Now, this is the point you fancy me mad. Madmen know nothing. You should have seen me. Wisdom, caution, foresight. I was never kinder to the old man than during the whole week before I died. Every night, just as midnight, I turned the latch of the door and opened it. Oh, so gentle. And when I made an opening sufficient for my head, I put in a dark lantern, all closed, so that no light shone. And then I thrust in my head. I moved slowly. A watch's minute moves more quickly than your mind. And then, when I waited a sufficient amount of time, I resolved to open a very little crevice for it. It fell across the whole drive. And this I did for 7 long nights. Every night, just at midnight. But I found the eye always closed. So it was impossible to do the deed, for it was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eye. And every morning, when day broke.
Oh, Bertram!
Your breakfast, sir.
Why, thank you.
How did you pass the night?
Oh, tolerably well, passably well, kind of you to ask.
Is the porridge not warm, sir?
No, the porridge is fine, just fine as always. I'm just not hungry, that's all. But thank heavens I have you, Bertram.
Upon the 8th night, I was more than usually cautious in opening the door. I just put my head in when...
Who's there? It is just the wind in the chimney. It is only a mouse crossing the floor. It is merely a cricket which has made a single chirp. Yes. Yes.
When I waited a sufficient amount of time, I resolved to open a very little crevice in the lantern, such that a single thin ray like the thread of a spider shot across the whole drive. It was open! I grew furious. It chilled the very marrow in my bones. Now it came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound, much like a watch makes when enveloping cotton. It stimulated my fury. It stimulated me, such like a soldier is stimulated by a trunk in battle. Yes, he was stone dead. His eye would trouble me no longer. But if you still think me mad, you will think so no longer when I describe to you the wise precautions I took in the concealment of the body. I took out some loose boards from behind the bed, and then I discovered the corpse. There was no blood spot whatsoever. A tub and a bucket in the hall. And I made it into these things. It was 4 o'clock, still dark as the night. Come in.
Sergeant Sturgis, sir, at this late hour. Captain O'Hernigan, Baltimore Police.
Not at all, Captain. How can I help you?
Are you the master of this house?
Master? No. The Master's away on an extended trip abroad. I am his servant. What seems to be the problem?
A shriek was heard by a neighbor during the night. A report was lodged at headquarters, and I will dispatch to search the premises.
Please, come in. I can assure you everything's in order, but feel free to inspect.
What part can you go places?
Say, would you like to see... would you like to see the silver collection locked in pipe and pantry?
There's no need of that. Thank you.
The wall safe is in the parlor if you wish to check for tampering.
That's quite all right. I'm just here to...
I'm only joking. Working so late. Here, sit down. Perhaps you would care for a tankard of rum.
Why, thank you, sir.
So, do you often get sent on such exotic errands in the wee hours?
Oh no, it's normally quite peaceful at headquarters at these times. I'm only doing my job by coming here.
I must say, I'm impressed. I'll sleep sounder tonight knowing you're out there protecting the city. Yes, a criminal would have to be very fast indeed to fool you.
Are you all right, sir?
Me? I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. What do you ask? I hear nothing. You hear nothing. It must be the wind and the shutters.
I didn't say I heard anything.
Oh. I'm developing a headache. I'm afraid a ringing in my ears.
Sorry to hear that, sir. Perhaps I could call you a doctor?
A doctor? A doctor? No, I'm fine, perfectly fine. Is it impossible he hears a thought? A low, dull, quick sound, much like a watch makes when enveloped in cotton.
Sir, I assure you, my ears are as quiet as a tree can hear.
It's impossible you hear it not. No, you hear! You suspect it, you know! You mock my horror! Ah! Louder! Villains, dissemble no more! I admit the deed! Look behind the boards! Here!
Merciful God! Heaven save us.
It is the beating of his hideous heart! I killed the vulture eye! Do you hear it? Make it stop! The beating of his hideous heart! Ah! Ah! No, stop it! Please, no! Ah! No, stop!
I was summoned to his bedside as soon as consciousness supervened and questioned him of his family, place of relatives, etc. But his answers were incoherent and unsatisfactory. Wishing to rally and sustain his fast-sinking hopes, I told him, Mr. Poe?
Yes, Doctor.
In a few days, you should be able to enjoy the society of your friends, and I would be more than happy.
Friends! Doctor, is this some kind of rude joke?
Mr. Poe, I am merely trying to...
Dr. Snodgrass, you are a physician, are you not?
My name is Morin, Mr. Poe.
And a physician can't help but detect a drunkard at a glance.
I can't know what you...
I'm fine. I pledge to you before the solemn word of the gentleman that I am temperate even to rigor. I have not drank since I resided in Richmond.
Lie down, Mr. Poe, and try to rest.
Sometimes I was completely intoxicated. For years since, I have abandoned all use of alcoholic drinks, with the exception of a single deviation, and I was induced to drink cider, but with hopes in relieving a nervous attack.
Edgar!
What? Who's there? Who are you?
But you remember me. Surely you remember Pluto or Black Cat.
No.
You know, from infancy I was noted for the docility and humanity of my disposition.
Please. No, please.
I want to tell you a story. It will only take a moment. Perhaps you can help me remember.
Help?
Yes. After all, you created me.
Go on.
Thank you. As I was saying, my tenderness of heart was so conspicuous as to make me the jest of my companions.
How well I know to do it.
Edgar, how wonderful to see you.
Surely you remember my wife.
Yes, but...
Oh, you found her.
Who?
My little surprise.
Oh dear, not another pet.
But you love them so.
Yes, all of them. I tell you, Edgar, she's turned her house into a menagerie. Birds, fish, dog.
Stop, my dear.
Even a monkey.
But look at her. How can you resist her?
Yes. What a fine.
Wait. It is a popular notion that all black cats are witches in disguise.
Ah, yes. But you'll keep her, won't you?
How can I refuse her? Then, shall we continue?
However, after several years,
My general sentiment and character experience a radical alteration for the worse. I go day by day more moody, more irritable, more regardless of the feelings of others.
yes, I know.
One night, returning home, much intoxicated for one of my haunts about town, I fancied the cat would in my presence. Come here, Pluto. Come here, Pluto. Ah! That wasn't very hospitable, my pets. Come here, Pluto. Come here, my pets.
Fury of the demon instantly possessed him. He deliberately cut one of the eyes from its socket.
But you remember, the cat did still recover.
Yes. Oh, yes.
The socket of the lost eye presented, it is true, a frightful appearance. But it appeared to suffer no pain. It wandered the house as usual.
But, as might be expected, fled in extreme terror on your approach.
I had so much of my old heart left as to be grieved by this evident dislike by the one who had once so loved me. But then soon came irritation. Then came perversiveness, one of the primitive impulses of the human heart.
One of the individual faculties which give direction to the character of man. He's not found himself many times making a
Vile,
or a
stupid,
action
one morning,
in cold blood
I slipped a noose upon his neck,
and hung it from a limb of a tree. Hung it
with tears streaming from my eyes, hung it because she knew she once so loved me.
Hung it because in doing so he knew he was committing a sin.
Stop, please, no more, I beg of you.
However, one night, as he sat half stupefied in the den, more than infamy, his attention was drawn to some black object reposing upon the head of one of the immense hogsheads of gin.
Pluto!
No. Pluto had not a white hair upon any portion of her body.
Her paws! I took her home. She became a great favorite of my wife.
What a lovely kitty. Look at those paws, white as snow. We should keep her. She seems to need a home.
But my dear, we haven't had the time or patience to take care for another.
Nonsense. How much bolder can she be? Let me get you a nice bowl of milk.
He soon found Amy,
Dislike.
rising. Then, with his aversion to her, however, partiality to him seemed to increase. Wherever he sat, he rose the wall. Such times he longed to,
Destroy it with one blow.
he yet withheld himself from doing so, hardly by
A memory of a former crime.
but confessed chiefly
Because I dreaded the beast. Because at times its paws, its white hands, by slow degrees and moments of innocent play.
What? Tell us.
An image, I shuddered her name.
Tell us!
And there, am I mad with dread, with terror, with evil. My hands on the gallows rope.
No. You are imagining.
No. Evil thoughts became my sole intimates. Dark and evil thoughts. One day, as she accompanied me upon a household errand, into the cellar of our old house.
What was that? Did you fall? Are you all right? What's happening down there? My God! Stop this! Stop! Stop!
No!
This condition of sometimes violent fits lasted for 13 to 14 hours, followed by what can only be described as Mr. Poe?
Mr. Poe?
Mr. Poe. Catalepsy.
Presently my soul grew stronger. Hesitating then no longer.
Sir,
Said I.
For madam, truly your forgiveness I implore.
But the fact is I was napping. So gently you came. Rapping. So faintly you came.
Tapping.
Tapping. At my chamber door. That I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there. And nothing more. Back in my chamber turning, all my soul within me.
Burning.
Soon again I heard a
Rapping.
somewhat louder than before. Surely,
Said I.
surely, that is something at my window lattice. Let me see what there is in this.
Mystery.
Explore. Let my heart be still a moment in this.
Mystery.
Explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more. Open here, I fling the shutter. With as many a
Flirt.
and
Flutter.
in there steps the stately.
Raven.
With the saintly day. Not the least service made. Not a minute, stop, stay. But with many a lord or lady, perched above my chamber door.
Perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. Perched.
And
Sat.
and
Nothing more.
but this ebony bird beguiling all my sad fancy and smiles. Like a grave stern form, countless at war.
Though thy crest be shorn and shaven now,
I said,
art sure no graven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the Magna shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore.
quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his
Soul.
within that one word he did outpour.
Nothing further than he uttered.
Not a feather, then a flutter, till I scarcely more than mine. Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will lead me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said,
Nevermore.
but the raven still beguiling all my fancy and smile. Straight I wheeled a cushion seat in front of the bird, and bust on door. Upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself thinking, fancy on the fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this
grim,
ungainly, ghastly, gaunt,
and ominous
Bird of yore.
meant and croaking.
Nevermore.
Virginia, like yours.
Accurate.
Oh, Virginia.
Come on, Eddie, let's play.
Virginia, I would love to, but I'm busy writing.
I banish all gloomy stories from your mind. There's no demons in this field. Come on, let's play. You're my favorite dancing partner.
I'm disarmed by your flattery, mademoiselle.
Enchanté, monsieur.
Virginia,
Yes, Eddie.
I have something I need to tell you.
You know, Eddie, I love you.
Yes.
But when you look at me with those eyes, you look like a sad puppy. Come on, Eddie, let's play. I'll beat you to the top of this hill. Come on.
Miss Clem,
Yes, Edgar.
I need to speak with you about Virginia.
Edgar, I can see that you...
I love Virginia. Passionately, devotedly.
Yes, Edgar, but she is very young.
There's not a day or a night that goes by where I don't dream about the rapture where I get to call her my wife.
But you are related, cousins.
I have procured a small little house on Church Hill.
Edgar, I love you as dearly as I love her, and nothing would make me happier.
Then,
Please, Edgar, let me think on it.
all right.
'Twas many
And many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of
Annabelle Lee.
And this maiden she lived with no other thoughts than
To love, to be loved by me.
she was a child and I was a child in this kingdom by the sea.
But we loved with a love that was more than love.
I and my Annabelle Lee.
Eddie,
My love, my dearest wife.
It's scandalous.
Reprehensible.
A crime. A sin.
She's a child.
12 years old and his cousin.
he's twice her age.
It never should have happened.
Never.
Never. Never more.
Mr. Poe?
Mr. Poe.
Mr. Poe? Mr. Poe? Eddie? Eddie!
I'm sorry, my dearest. Just another one of my stories.
Was it dark and dull, soundless and melancholy?
Are you all right?
Yes. Don't mind me. It's just the arm hair.
In the whole of a dull, dark, soundless day in the autumn of the year, the clouds hung oppressively low in the heavens. I passed along on horseback through a singularly dreary tract of country, and at length found myself within view of the
House of Usher.
Eddie!
Virginia! Virginia! Doctor! Someone call for a doctor!
Doctor!
No!
The Lady Madeline's no more.
The Lady Madeline Usher. Roger Usher's only sister. Long baffled the skill of her physicians.
It's a settled apathy. The gradual wasting away of a person. Until catalepsy.
Catalepsy.
Until now, she has steadily borne up against the pressure of her malady. But finally, she had succumbed.
Are you sure she is dead?
My friend, come. We must preserve her body for a fortnight in the Fenley vaults below the walls.
But Roger,
My friend, please. I will need your help. Follow me.
I personally aided within
The entombment.
vault which we placed the body, small, damp, without any means sufficient light, blind and great.
Death.
Now, some days of bitter grief, having elapsed an observable change, came over him. It seemed as if his mind was laboring with some oppressive secret.
No!
My friend,
No, not a word.
but Roger,
No, not a sound!
his condition terrified me, infected me. On the night of the 8th day after placing the Lady Madeline in the tomb, low and indefinite sounds came, causes of the storm.
Have you not seen?
Roger,
Oh my God, you have not seen it. The same, my friend. You shall. Look!
my God, the rocks, the trees, the lawn, they all glow in an unnatural light.
They glow.
All terrestrial objects, luminous by the ghastly tale from the House of Usher.
No. Roger, you will not behold this. You shall not behold this. This is merely
me of electrical phenomena not come here. Here are two favorite novels. I will read. You shall listen.
Listen.
Here. So, we will pass through this terrible night together. And Ethelred waited no longer to hold parley with the hermit, uplifted his mace outright, and with blows and tore all asunder the door. The good champion Ethelred entering, within the door was a mace of sea-hanging, dragon, scaly and prodigious demeaning. And Ethelred uplifted his mace and struck upon the head of the dragon, which gave up a shriek, so horrid and harsh.
Now hear it! I hear it and have heard it. Many minutes, many hours, many days, and I dare not. I pity the miserable wretch that I am. I dare not speak. Oh God. We put her living in the tomb!
Buried alive.
I tell you, I heard her first feeble movements in the hollow coffin many, many days ago, yet I dare not. I dare not speak. Oh, whether shall I fly? Well, will she not be here anon? Will she not be here to upbraid me from her haste?
Haste!
Do I not distinguish, my friend, the heavy footsteps on the stair? Do I not distinguish the heavy and horrible beating of her heart?
Roger! Roger, stop!
No! No, my friend! I tell you now, she stands about the door!
When I answered, I fled. When I turned, I saw the walls of the house rushing asunder.
Eddie,
Virginia?
the doctor says I'm going to live.
What? The bleeding, the coughing.
It was a blood vessel in her throat that burst. She should be fine, Mr. Poe. Make sure she gets rest.
I thought, I feared you had left me.
Eddie, I could never leave you. With your morbid poetry.
Please don't mock me.
I should be careful next time I get the sniffles. And how we pronounce day. Or how we buried alive.
Buried alive. Watch out, Edgar.
Buried alive, this notion. To be buried while alive is... Excuse me. Yes. Oh my! Hey. One more. All right. There are certain themes of which the interest is all-absorbing, but which are too entirely horrible for the purposes of legitimate fiction. Go on now, Lucius. To be buried while alive is, beyond question, the most terrific of these extremes which has ever fallen to the lot of mere mortality. And it has frequently, very frequently, so fallen can scarcely be denied. One of these very remarkable circumstances may be fresh in your memories. They occurred not too long ago in the neighboring city of Baltimore. The wife of one of the most respectable citizens was seized with a sudden and unaccountable illness. She presented all the ordinary appearances of death. The lady was deposited in her family vault. Within 2 days of her entombment,
Hubert, could you order breakfast for me here in my room? Hubert! Oh dear.
thus she remained, and thus she rotted. True, I swear. In the year 1810, A case of living inhumation occurred in France. The heroine of our story is
Je m'appelle Victorine Lafacard.
a young woman of great personal beauty,
Rusty.
possessing numerous suitors.
Victorine, my love.
Bonjour, Jean. Bonjour, Philippe. Bonjour, Antoine. Bonjour, Monsieur Ronatel.
She married the banker Ronatel for money, not for love. After marriage, this gentleman ill-treated and neglected her. After having passed some wretched years,
Yuck.
she died.
Ah.
Ah, ma sweet. She has passed.
Or so it was believed. Filled with despair, one of her suitors journeyed to the grave with the romantic purpose of gaining a lock of her hair.
Victorine, my love.
But to his amazement,
Antoine, my love.
You're alive!
she fled with her love to America. 20 years later, they returned to France.
Oh, Antoine, are you sure they will not recognize us?
My love, the years have altered us so our friends will merely recognize us.
Look, it's Victorine and Antoine! Antoine and Victorine!
You are my wife. You come with me.
No, no, no!
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Victorine!
Judicial tribunal was convened. We find in favor of the young lady, given the peculiar circumstance, the long lapse of years, we extinguish the authority of the husband.
Zut à l'as.
Vive la France!
Vive la France!
There is also a well-known case involving the use of the galvanic battery to revive a supposed dead in London in 1831.
Can I apply the electrodes now?
Oh, no, Desmond must first perform the postmortem. Howard?
Yes, doctor?
Scalpel. Scalpel.
Please! Let me try my electrical experiment before any organs are removed.
Well, all right, Desmond. In the interest of science.
My God!
What is this? This is amazing!
Still to Diliet.
What?
I heard him. Did you understand?
Not a word. Can you speak more clearly? 3 words. First word.
I.
Second word. Gown.
White.
Not.
Sounds like
Table. Metal.
cold.
Sleep. Bed. I know it. Bed.
I'm not bed.
It sounds like bed could be lead. Bread.
Sled.
Wed. Bed. I'm not bed.
Dead! I'm not dead!
I'm not dead. I did it.
Good game!
Indeed, it is a fact that such premature interments occur frequently beyond our cognizance. What I have now to tell is of my own positive and personal experience. I have been subject to a series of attacks which physicians agreed to term catalepsy, in default of a more definite title. Once having fallen into the trance-like clutches of this disease, the most rigorous medical tests failed to establish any material distinction between the state of the sufferer and what we conceive of absolute death. This state can last for days, even weeks. Once my fancy crew claimed I spoke of worms, of tombs, of epitaphs. I was lost in reveries of death, and the idea of premature burial held continual possession of my brain. Once I thought I had been submersed into a catalytic trance of more than usual duration and profundity.
Arise!
Arise! Arise! Look!
I looked. The graves of all mankind had caused to be thrown open. The numbers of real sleepers were far fewer by many millions than those who slumbered not at all.
Oh, what a pitiful sight!
What is it, Aloysius?
What's the trouble, Aloysius?
Oh, save me! Save me!
Did you have a bad dream?
Yes, that's it.
Poor baby.
Aloysius, maybe we should take you to a doctor.
No! I am fine. Perfectly fine. Just promise me one thing.
What?
Promise that you will not bury me till I am dead. Stinky, smelly, dead.
What are you...
Just promise me.
We promise not to bury you until you're dead.
Very dead?
Very dead. We have a very strange son.
Bizarre.
I had entered into a series of elaborate precautions in case of premature burial.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, yes.
I finished the modifications you requested.
Wonderful. Let me see.
Well, there she is!
My, it's magnificent!
You'll see it's warmly and softly padded.
Yes, very nice.
And this lever here underneath the lid releases the latch.
Terrific.
And the springs make the lid fly open with the feeblest pressure.
Wonderful.
And this hole here that you requested. Now what is that for again? I've quite forgotten.
The bell rope.
Of course, the bell rope. Well, if that is quite satisfactory, I'll be on my way.
Yes, very satisfactory. Thank you very much.
Well, have a nice... I hope... Well, goodbye.
Farewell. But, alas, what avails the vigilance against the destiny of man? Not even these well-contrived securities sufficing to save me from the uttermost agonies of living inhumation. There arrived a time in which I found myself emerging from total unconsciousness to the first feeble and indefinite sense of existence. I am cognizant that I am not awakened from ordinary sleep. I recall that I had been subject to catalepsy. I could not summon the courage to move. It was dark, all dark. I tried to scream, I could not. Hardwood, not 6 inches from my face. Open! I can't find the lever. The bell rope, where is it? This coffin has no padding. What does that smell? Is that the smell of moist earth? No! I am outside of the family vault. I have fallen into a trance among strangers. They have buried me like a dog, thrust deep into some ordinary grave. Help!
Hello there.
What the devil's the matter now?
What do you mean by yelling at that eerie kind of sound like a wild cat?
Where am I?
You're on a boat on the St. James River.
Don't you remember?
Remind me.
You and your friends were on a hunting trip.
Yes, that's it.
You were caught in a storm and...
Asked you for shelter aboard your ship.
So we put in these berths.
With no bedding.
Eddie, no need for something on this boat.
And the dimensions of this berth are much like that of a...
What?
Well, never mind. What is that smell of moist earth?
It is a cargo of mulch. We were unloading it. We heard you screaming.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry to have disturbed you.
It's no trouble. You settle down now.
All right.
Have a good night, sir.
What a strange passenger.
Out of evil proceeded good. After these events, my soul acquired tone, acquired temper. I went abroad, took vigorous exercise, breathed the free air of heaven. I discarded my medical books. I read no tales of churchyards. None such as this. I thought upon subjects other than death. In short, I became a new man. I discussed forever my charmed apprehensions, and with them vanished cataleptic disorder, of which they were less the consequence than the cause.
We still love you, Aloysius.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
This is the reason that long ago,
in this kingdom by the sea, that a wind blew out of the cloud by night, chilling my so that my high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me.
Shut her up. Sell her.
In this kingdom by the sea,
The angels, not half so happy in heaven, but envying her and me.
yes, this is the reason, as all men know,
In the kingdom by the sea,
that a
wind blew out of the cloud, chilling
and killing.
my Annabelle Lee.
But our love, it was stronger than those who were older than we.
and
Neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, could ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful.
Annabelle Lee.
For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful.
Annabelle Lee.
And the stars never rise, but I see the bright eyes of the beautiful.
Annabelle Lee.
So all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling,
My darling.
my life and my bride, in her tomb by the side of the sea.
So,
So it ends.
It's so sad. I always felt they were a lovely couple.
He's a changed man.
Never be the same.
Perhaps it's just as well.
Thus I have endeavored to convey to you my conception, poetic principle. Principle itself is strictly and simply the human aspiration for beauty. Principle is always found due elevating inside the soul. The poet recognizes the ambrosia which nourishes the soul. Bright orbs shine in heaven, and the flower, the waving of the grain fields, and the twinkling of half-hidden brooks, the star peering depths of lonely wells, sees it in solemn birds, the signs of the dying wind, and the surf that complains to the shore. You, behind it, holds it in all unruly motion, now chivalrous, generous, self-sacrificing deeds. Guilty.
Mr. Poe?
Poe.
Mr. Poe?
Poe.
Mr. Poe?
Poe.
And methought that every denture, you and mine unseen century, swung by seraphims whose footfalls tinkled on the cupped floor.
Wretch!
I cried,
Thy God hath lent thee.
by these angels he had sent thee.
Eddie! Eddie!
In the back, the tip of the nice Draconian shore. See no black plume, token, that lie, and soul spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. With thy bust above my door. Take thy beak from my heart. Take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
The raven never flitting. Still is sitting. Still is sitting. The placid bust of palace just above my chamber door. And his
Eyes.
and all the seeming of a
Demon.
that is
Dreaming.
the lamplight on him streaming. Throws his shadow on the floor. And mine,
Soul.
about that shadow, lies floating on the floor. Shall be lifted.
Nevermore.
Lord help my poor soul.
This is as faithful an account as I am able to furnish